3 months ago, I stopped taking photos from certain angles. I'd tilt my head down at family dinners. I'd avoid bright bathroom lighting. I stopped wearing my hair back because I didn't want anyone to see what I was seeing every single morning in the mirror. My part line getting wider, my temples getting shinier, and my ponytail getting noticeably thinner in my hand. If you're watching this video right now, there's a good chance you already know exactly what I'm talking about. And I want you to know, before we go any further, you are not imagining it, you are not alone, and it is not just aging. There's actual science behind why this happens, and there's something you can do about it. So today I'm going to show you exactly what I did for the last 90 days, what changed, what didn't, and whether I think it's actually worth your money. No sponsorship script, no fake enthusiasm, just what happened.
Let me back up for a second. I'm in my late 40s, and about a year ago I started noticing changes. Not dramatic movie-style hair loss, just less. Less volume, less thickness, more hair on my pillow, more hair in the shower drain, and honestly, less confidence every time I looked in the mirror. I did what most of us do. I Googled it at 1 a.m., and what I learned actually surprised me. Hair thinning in women, especially in our 40s and 50s, usually isn't caused by just one thing. It's caused by up to 5 different root issues happening at the same time. Hormonal shifts, especially during perimenopause and menopause, when estrogen drops and your hair follicles become more sensitive to hormones like DHT. Slower scalp circulation, meaning less blood flow, less oxygen, and fewer nutrients reaching your follicles. Collagen and elastin loss. Your scalp ages just like your skin does, and that affects follicle strength. Chronic stress, which can push hair follicles into a resting phase prematurely, causing shedding. And follicle dormancy, where follicles that used to produce hair basically go to sleep. The problem is, most hair products only target one of these 5 things. That's why so many of us have tried shampoo after shampoo, vitamin after vitamin, and seen basically nothing change. So when I heard about a serum that claimed to target all 5 root causes at once, I was skeptical, genuinely. I've been burned before.
I did what I always do before spending money on anything hair-related. I went down a rabbit hole. I looked into the ingredients list, and this is where I actually got interested. Instead of 1 or 2 hero ingredients, this serum, it's called FullyVital, has 15 actives, several of which I recognized from actual clinical research, not just marketing copy. Things like Redincell, which has been shown to stimulate hair follicle stem cells, copper peptides, which are linked to thicker follicles and more collagen and elastin production on the scalp, rosemary oil, which in a published study performed comparably to 2% minoxidil for hair growth, without the side effects, topical melatonin, which in clinical research showed increased scalp hair growth and thicker hair shafts, and caffeine, which has research behind it for helping counteract the shrinking effects of DHT on hair follicles. What stood out to me wasn't just that these ingredients existed, it's that there were actual citations, 10 different studies, which I'll put in the description if you want to read them yourself. I'm not a doctor, and I always recommend you look at the research yourself instead of just trusting a stranger on the internet, including me. But combined with the fact that it's 100% natural, vegan, and free of parabens, phthalates, and fragrance, I figured, worst case, it doesn't work and I'm out some money. Best case, it actually does what it says. So I ordered it, and I committed to using it every single night for 90 days, no skipping, and documenting everything. The actual routine is stupidly simple, which honestly made it easier to stick with. Step 1. At night, as part of my wind-down routine, I shake the bottle well. Step 2. I apply 1 to 2 dropperfuls directly onto the areas where I was thinning most. For me, that was my part line and my temples, onto dry or towel-dried hair. Step 3. I gently massage it into my scalp with my fingertips for about a minute, and then I just leave it. No rinsing. I sleep in it and wash my hair normally the next day. The whole thing takes maybe 2 to 3 minutes. I was worried it would feel greasy or heavy, especially sleeping in it, but it actually absorbs pretty quickly, within a couple hours, and I never woke up with oily pillow syndrome.
which if you've used minoxidil before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I also appreciated that there was no strong fragrance. If you're sensitive to scented products on your scalp, that mattered to me too.
Okay, let's talk about the actual timeline, because I think this is the part most reviews skip over or exaggerate. Week 1, basically nothing. I want to be honest with you. There was no overnight miracle. If a product promises instant results, that's usually a red flag anyway, because hair grows in cycles, not overnight. Weeks 2 through 3, this is where I first noticed something. Less hair in the shower drain, less hair on my brush in the morning. It wasn't dramatic, but it was noticeable enough that I actually texted my sister about it, unprompted. By week 4, my scalp genuinely felt different. Less tight, if that makes sense. A little more alive, I guess is the best word. I also didn't experience what's sometimes called a dread shed, which is common with minoxidil, where your existing hair sheds heavily before new growth comes in. That was actually one of my biggest fears going in, and it just didn't happen. This is where things actually started to shift visually, not just in how my scalp felt. Around week 6, my hairdresser, who I hadn't told anything about this, asked if I'd changed something because she said my hair felt thicker at the roots. I hadn't said a word to her. That was the first outside confirmation that I wasn't just seeing what I wanted to see. By week 8, when I parted my hair the way I normally do, the part line looked narrower. Not gone. I want to be really clear, this isn't a miracle cure, and I'm not showing you some dramatically edited before and after, but visibly, tangibly less scalp showing through. I also started noticing shorter, finer baby hairs along my hairline, especially near my temples, which from what I understand is usually a sign that dormant follicles are waking back up and starting a new growth cycle. By the time I hit day 90, here's what had actually changed. My ponytail felt visibly thicker in my hand, and if you've dealt with thinning hair, you know that's the test. You know your own hair's normal thickness better than any camera could show. My part line had noticeably narrowed. My temples had filled in with new, shorter growth. And this is the part that actually got emotional for me. I felt comfortable taking photos again without thinking about angles. I'm not going to sit here and tell you my hair is back to what it was at 25. It's not. But the trajectory changed. Instead of watching things get thinner every month, I watched things slowly get better. And when you felt out of control of your own body for a while, that shift matters more than people who haven't been there might realize. I know some of you are watching this thinking, okay, but is this just a placebo effect or paid promotion? Here's my honest take. I paid for this myself. I'm not required to say anything positive. And I did look into the science before I started, which I'd encourage every one of you to do with any hair product, including this one. Read the ingredient studies. Understand the mechanism. Don't just trust a testimonial, even mine. I'll also say this isn't going to work identically for everyone. Hair loss has different causes, and if yours is related to a medical condition, medication, or something more serious, please talk to a dermatologist. This is not medical advice, and I'm not a doctor. But for garden variety hormonal and stress-related thinning, which is incredibly common for women our age, I think the science behind targeting multiple root causes at once actually makes sense, and my own results reflected that. I'll also mention the company offers a 180-day money-back guarantee, which is one of the longest I've seen in this space. That mattered to me because it meant I wasn't taking on all the risk myself.
If you're where I was 3 months ago, avoiding mirrors, avoiding certain lighting, feeling like your hair is one more thing slipping out of your control during a season of life that already feels like a lot, I just want you to know it's not hopeless, and it's not just something you have to accept. I'll link exactly what I use down in the description, along with the studies behind the key ingredients, so you can make your own informed decision instead of just taking my word for it. And if you try it, I'd genuinely love to know how it goes for you. Drop a comment, because this community has honestly been one of the most supportive parts of this whole journey for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.